like we are ready when you are.
I'd like to call the Human Resources and Public Works Committee to order. Call to the public. Anybody online?
There is not at this time, Mr. Chair.
Then our first and only item is to consider entering into a 3-year contract with Waste Management of Michigan for flat rate of both the hauling and disposal of trash to residual from the Isabella County recovery facility. Submit cost of $534 per pole and a one-time new setup fee of $250 and authorize the board chair to sign the same.
All right. We at this point have Granger Waste Services. We released an RFP in March. The bids come back in on the 25th of March. 3 bidders met the criteria for it. Green for Life or TFL, Granger Waste Services, and Waste Management. All 3 of them did meet the minimum requirements for what we needed on the RFP. GFL's proposal was $750 flat rate pull, which is above where we are now at $585 per pull. So that eliminated GFL right off the top, which left me the other 2 to look at their numbers. As you can see, Granger Waste Services was $534.25 per pull, and that was a flat rate with no other initial fees on that, no fuel surcharges or anything else. Waste Management's contract, which, like I say, with Granger, was a very good proposal, under what they were charging us now, in fact, which we don't see. They're trying to retain the business is really what it comes down to. They really were trying to retain the business. Waste Management's proposal come back basically a matter of a few pennies difference in price at $534.58. But the deciding factor for me for this is that we do charge a processing fee on inbound material. Granger brings us no inbound material as of right now. So knowing that it's a straight payout to Granger, where Waste Management brings us material, we charge a processing fee for. The matter of difference of a few pennies is really the deciding factor was the fact that we do have the ability to gain some of that money back, so to speak, by that processing fee that we charge Waste Management. So it really comes down to that. If Granger had been bringing us material, they probably would have retained the contract for my suggestions anyways. But as it turns out, I think that Waste Management is my best fit. As you can see in the financial impact, it is a lower charge than what we have been at, so it will end in a positive impact on the budget, which is definitely a good thing. One of the things that I do want to read out of the first part of this is that, however, the Granger does not utilize the facility for other services that are stipulated in the recycling ordinance, such as using our facility to bring in collectible recyclables that they pick up in Isabella County for us to process. We do have an ordinance that states that if there is material collected in Isabella County, that it is supposed to come to the facility. I know that Granger is picking up materials in this county and transporting it out. And that's, by ordinance, that's not the right thing for them to be doing.
Probably take it to their facility in Lansing.
They are, well, they have a very small facility. I think they're probably taking it to Amterra. They may be taking some of it to their facility in Lansing. They still have the transportation fees of that, which that's their side of the business to figure them numbers out. I can't, for the life of me, I can't add them numbers up and that makes sense when you start looking at the logistics. Picking up material here in the county and transporting it to Lansing. was their argument when they wanted a, so to speak, a stipend for bringing us material. And at the time that they were asking for a stipend, the price of cardboard was at about $75 a ton, barely making any money for us. You know, I figure we're probably closer to $65 a ton on our processing to be able to cover our labor costs. Right now, we're at $180 or $185 per ton on cardboard. I can understand that question now. When the time that they asked me that question, I couldn't understand it. And I told the guy, I said, okay, but where were you at when we were bleeding to death when cardboard was at $60 a ton? You know, you were still asking me for that stipend, but knowing that we weren't even covering our material costs or labor costs. So, you know, it really comes back to that. So my recommendation is to go with a 3-year contract with Waste Management. So if you're looking at the contract, and when you do look at the contract, you'll see that there is a $430 haul rate is what the contract is based on. But if you also see that there is some highlighted areas, they're not charging us a current fuel surcharge. There is a EDC, which is, you'll see the definitions down here, which your EDC is an environmental charge. There's a 20% charge on that $430, which ends up being $86 total. And then there's also a 3.6% recovery, regular recovery, or regulatory cost recovery charge, which that ends up being $18.57. So I wanted you to understand where I got the $534.58. When you add all of the material prices in, that's where we end up at $534.58. And then there is a one-time initial set fee on that. And that's what my recommendations is, you know, the $534 per pole with a $250 initial set fee.
Can they charge you a fuel charge down the road?
They can.
Especially with the price of no.
Everything we get into the door.
They cannot, and during the 3-year period, it's not.
Really?
Right, because of the fact that it is a set contract. And they have waived that fuel surcharge, and they do understand that it is for the life of the contract. So, and that was one of the other things that Granger did bring to me, that part of Granger's not only the $750 charge, there was, it was rather odd. It was a 1 cent charge for every 4 cents it was above $4 a gallon. So, and I didn't even do the math because they were out anyways, but you know, fuel right now is $5 a gallon. So, you know, there would have been a penny charge for every 4 cents up to $5. So that would have been a, you know, a pretty good cost on top of that 750. What makes sense for the best, you know, for the best dollar for us, for the county is the, you know, the waste management, because we do recover some of that money back from that processing fee we charge.
So a poll is every time they pick up the dumpster?
Yes, sir.
And how often is that?
Right now, we're running it once a week. We can, you know, we usually are very good about making sure that we try to balance it out so that we can get around once a week. It is a, you know, it's a lot of money through the course of that contract. And, you know, I really try to do everything I can to manage to make sure that we keep that, because that also, as you guys know, that also affects our residual percentages when you see the reports from the advisory group. You know, that shows up, the residual percentage shows up on there. And I do everything I can to, at a minimum, keep it at 10% or less. And I think over the last 9 years that I've been there, we have a month here or there that's over 10%. But for the most part, we are usually under 10%. I like to really
see where JCon at CMU, they picked a random dumpster and took everything out of it and determined that about 65% of it was
Would have been recyclable.
recycled.
Wow.
Yeah,
And
plastic bottles and cardboard.
Jay and I have conversations quite often. And
Mhm.
he actually is working with Waste Management to try and do like a press release type of thing, indicating just that. They're
Mhm.
trying to use Waste Management's abilities, and Waste Management has the ability to come in and do even though they have CFU Public Television down there, Waste Management has a lot of the same ability to be able to come in, and they're trying to do so to speak, a PR event for just that reason. So they are a huge corporation, but we also get times like this where the rates were really getting up there. The fact that they're where they're at right now, I'm impressed. But they also, just from having conversations through the last few months, that their goal is to be able to continue to try and work with the facility and be able to make sure that they're doing what's right, not only for them, but what's right for our ordinances and things of that nature.
Questions or comments?
Motion to consider entering into a 3-year contract with Waste Management of Michigan Incorporated for a flat rate of both the hauling and disposal of trash residue from the Isabel County Material Recovery Facility at an approximate rate of $534.58 per pull, with a one-time new setup fee of $250, and authorize the board chair to sign the same.
Second, it's been moved and supported to move item 3 to work in regular session of the county commission next week. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Ayes carried. County commission.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jake.
Yep, absolutely.
Now, so, benefit?
No?
That's right.
Okay.
We'll see you guys next Tuesday, but also then I'll see the two of you on next Thursday.
Yeah.
Yep.
You're welcome to join as well, sir. Or if you're really bored today, you come out and watch them set the scale.
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe what I'll do is email the other commissioners, see if anyone else wants to go.
Again, absolutely. I know Commissioner Horton has never made it through as a tour either, and if he did have time. Although I think Thursday is a bad day for him because isn't it Tuesday and Thursday that he is in GR for
I
classes?
think so.
I think
Did
that's what he-
Commissioner Sweeney make it out for a tour?
He has not.
Okay, he would be another one, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you email
I'll just
everybody.
email
Yeah.
everybody.
That'd be great.
See who's interested. Yeah. Okay.
Thanks, Jake.
Yeah, thank you.
Just go to those meetings.
There's no one at this time, Mr. Chairman.
Okay.
All right.
Try that sunshine.
Where the